I always forget to tell people to check into the website for upcoming shows and for free downloads. A lot of this stuff is just recorded and passed around, and people don't know the website even exists. So, pass this around to the people that you know, and let's help people to look at things from a completely different perspective, outside of the box, outside of the low-level matrix. And this truly is a complete matrix. The stuff we've been talking about so far, even though it shocks some people, and I've had people tell me that when they initially listened to my various shows, they thought I was absolutely crazy. And that's how it appears from someone inside the box, the Plato's cave, where everything's been laid on and explained in the confines of that cave. And you can make anything appear to be sensible if you have enough indoctrination. If it's a flat earth or a square earth or hollow earth, it's all the same stuff. Indoctrination attached to some imagination can do wonders. It can take you on trips without the use of drugs. And the spoken word and the written word have been used for thousands of years by masters in this field. We are guided through all these labyrinths through authorized authors. And every age has them, the famous ones, who create mystery and confusion, and yet always guide us to the next point where the planners want us to arrive. It's an ongoing process. The one connection everything has in your entire system is not a Catholic system or a Protestant system or a Jewish system, a Muslim system, a Buddhist system, or any other type of system. It's a Freemasonic system. The one interlinking web between all, even the triads of China, is Freemasonry. None other. It's interwoven throughout all the religions, all the creeds, all the peoples. From the top of your system at the federal level, in fact from the United Nations level, there's a fraternity of Freemasons in there. Their job is to get all the other ones who thought were fighting each other at one point together. You must create change through conflict or the appearance of conflict, and it must be real to those engaged in the fight. So the ones at the bottom never know what's really going on. A good example of this is what's happened for an awful long time since England was tampering into the affairs of Ireland and the Troubles, as it's called, the conflict, because they put a Presbyterian crew into Ulster, who became the sort of overlords for a while in the 1800s of Ireland. And this was guaranteed to cause trouble right up to the present time. However, there are different factions that fight against them. The official IRA, as it was called at one time, was actually a communist sect. And then you had the provincial group started up. And out of all of this, as we went through the routine of them eventually seeming to disarm and come to terms in the last few years with England, lo and behold, Ireland is now in the economic union. They have the European Parliament over their heads. Well, there's a freedom for you. So you come out after fighting all this time for some kind of freedom to find, as you think you're free, or getting there, you're actually under the EU. That's how clever this system is. And many people in Ireland, for instance, are quite happy for the present, because under the rules of the EU, which is just a branch really of the UN, as Karl Marx talked about, they give tax monies as grants to start businesses up for the poorer countries. However, along with those grants they've given to Ireland, they also have the Russian mob who's moved into Ireland big time to get the free grants. There's always a play here with preordained things going on in organizations that kept quiet in the background, and you'd never connect them until you see them moving in. There are strategies going on all the time. But the one thing you'll find, as I say, through all of these conflicting groups, is that there are leaders involved who are also Freemasons. Recently we saw an amazing funeral for President Ford, and people saw a Masonic parade and saw a Masonic funeral, to an extent, at least the exoteric part of it. And Joe Public again chomps on his burger and thinks no more about it, that Freemasonry is interlinked all through his police, all through every board that directs his life to the politicians, to those above the politicians that he sees, through the military, through the secret polices we have all over the world. They're all Freemasons, but we're supposed to just accept it as some kind of natural phenomena, because they have this front for being charitable organizations, even though on their own websites these organizations will give you a public library, which is rubbish, and that they will tell you they have their archives for their own members who must prove their membership. In the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, they gave a tribute to Brother Ford, and on their site they even put a picture up with all these guys with their suits on, and the little pinafores, the four in front of the pinafore. At one time, pinafores were something that women would use at the kitchen sink, and these guys hardly wash dishes, especially with those funny gloves on. But they have their pinafore, kind of like American Indians, only they have their legs covered, and the pinafore in front. And that's why, of course, in the Pirates of Penzance, the opera, where they go through a mock initiation, in a lot of Masonic terms, in the opera, the ship was called HMS Pinafore. It's flaunted in your face all the time. Here's a blurb they did on their own website at the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry in Washington, D.C. for the southern jurisdiction. They have jurisdictions, they have regions. If you remember where regionalization came, it's all Masonic. And they also have lodges within those regions, and they call them valleys. And you'll get that from Francis Bacon's New Atlantis. He talks about the people on the mountains and the valley people. The valley people were the lowest of the low. So ha-ha with those funny guys with their gloves and their pinafores. Here's what they said. Masons from the Washington, D.C. metro area gathered at Naval Lodge number 4, located at 33, of course, and the 0, of course, would be your degree, Pennsylvania Avenue Southeast, on Sunday, December the 31st, 2006, to honor Brother Gerald R. Ford, 33rd Grand Cross. The brethren processed to the U.S. Capitol Rotunda, stopping briefly in front of the Capitol at the statue of former President and Brother James A. Garfield. A brief speech was given by Brother Alan Patterson, Senior Warden of Naval Lodge number 4, Washington, D.C., and a prayer by Brother Robert W. New, chaplain for Acacia Lodge number 16 in Clifton, Virginia. The brethren waited their turn to show their respect and honor to their fallen brother. Reporter Laura Marquez of Good Morning America, ABC News, interviewed the brethren, including Jules Tepper, past Grand Master of the District of Columbia,